I'm going to give you one thing that you need to do to make sure your shot goes well, and it happens before you even pull back your bow.
You're watching the Kaminski YouTube channel.
I've been coaching a lot recently, both in person and digitally, and I've noticed a big trend that I continually remind people to do to make sure they do it the right way before they even lift the bow, to really start their shot off the right way. And I'm going to show you that in this video. It's very simple, very straightforward, and you might already be doing it the right way, but it's really important to know why you should be doing it this way, so that way you don't make the mistake that many shooters do. Even after decades of shooting, they start developing this bad habit before they even lift the bow up to go pull the bow back to shoot, and it causes all sorts of problems in the shot itself. So I'm going to give you that in a second, but first, really quick, I have had a lot of issues with my email. For whatever reason, the emails that were coming in through my website were directed to some random email inbox that I had no access to, didn't have any idea that it was even happening, and I was wondering why I wasn't getting so many emails that I used to. So if you had sent in a coaching request or something along those lines, a question that was really important and needed to be answered, go back to my website and send it to me again if you wouldn't mind. I have a backlog of, I can't even count how many thousands of emails, and I'm just not going to dig through them. I did my best to keyword search through them so I could reply to them, but of course, I'm sure I missed some. So if you sent in coaching requests or something like that, please go back to my website and send me another email. It's all sorted out, and I apologize. I wasn't ignoring you, I promise. It's just, yeah, I don't know what happened. Technical glitch, I suppose. So now that that's out of the way, let's get into giving you this one tip, this one thing that you need to do before you even shoot your arrow, before you even pull back your bow, and it'll get you started off on the right foot when it comes to shooting archery. So basically the main thing is, after you load your arrow, and you've done all the stuff that you need to do, including like maybe setting your crawl or who knows what do you do first? And the first thing that you have to do is look at the target before you lift up the bow. So many people, especially bare bow, looking at and setting their crawl, checking their hook, checking their grip, and then they just do this. They don't even look at the target before they lift the bow up, before they pull the bow back. Trust me, it does matter. The reason it matters is it gives you a moment to kind of still and calm yourself, to give you a really good central focal point where you're aiming to shoot the arrow, right? And it gives you a basis to start from. It gives you a very solid foundation. It gives you a very simple, repetitive, easily repetitive starting point to base everything off of. And it's crucial. It is absolutely important to look at the target and then lift your bow. So what I'm talking about is standing here, setting my crawl, my hook and grip, and doing my whole thing, looking at the target, taking a moment, even if it's no time at all, just to do whatever I'm doing, look up at the target, lift my bow, draw it back, and shoot it. It's really that simple. The reason why, not just that it gives you a simple starting point and everything to base, your shot off of, it gives you the opportunity to recognize and to be able to tell when things are not going well, when they should be going well. For example, say if I were to be using you as the target and pretended that you're my target. If I set my hook and grip here and I'm doing, my thing, and I'm looking at my fingers, and then before I look at you, my target, I start to lift my bow, or I do so at the same time, and then I go to draw back, what's happening is I have no head control, no head position, no awareness of the head, nothing related to the head in the shot itself. And that's really critical because the head controls everything. If I look up too high, my weight automatically starts to head back. If I look to the right, my weight automatically starts to head to the right. That's just what happens, and that is the important thing to control, is your head position. So after you set your hook and grip, looking at the target, taking a moment to just relax, one moment, just a second, a half a second, or whatever, just a pause, and then I lift my bow and get into my shot. And what you'll notice is my head is in the same position here as it is almost in the same position here that I'm at full draw, and almost the same position it is when I go to let go. It doesn't move in a huge amount. Whereas most people, when they go from down here, as they go to lift up the bow, they lift and they look at the same time, and when they do that, the form starts to change. I'll give you one quick example. There's a million examples, a million different possibilities, but one dead giveaway is overall body position front to back. If my target was that direction, if I do the right thing by hooking and gripping, looking at my target, taking a moment, and then pulling my bow back, I'm relatively stacked here. I'm standing up nice and straight. But if I were to lift and look at the same time, many people will do this. And they end up kind of falling back that direction. Or as they go to lift, the shoulder picks up and elevates a slight amount because their head moved and allowed the shoulder to come up, instead of having that awareness of where are my shoulders in space as I'm lifting my bow? How does my body feel as I'm lifting my bow? And comparing that shot to shot to shot. But if I'm starting from this position over here, talking to my buddies, and I go to lift and pull back, I can't possibly expect similar feelings of the body or similar results downrange. So really, it's that simple. Just look at the target before you lift your bow, before you pull the bow back, and before you start the shot. What it does is it gives you a good, easily repeatable starting point to base all of your shots off of, and you'll be able to recognize when you slightly change your form, maybe the balance on your feet, maybe shoulder positions, whatever it may be, you might change it slightly. And if you keep your head still as you're going through this motion of lifting the bow, it gives you the opportunity to check in on the other parts of your body, to analyze if it moved as I was lifting the bow, and then make the determination on how to adjust it from there. But if you're completely unaware that you're moving and changing and doing things because the head is moving as you're lifting the bow, you have no opportunity to coach yourself, and you have no opportunity to fix the problem. And then, good luck. Consistency is just going to come down to that. Luck, and it won't come down to the skill and the practice and the time that you've spent shooting these arrows, hopefully practicing to try to get better. So the moral of the story is, the more you control, the more you pay attention to, the better off you are. Now, I'm not necessarily telling you every tiny little detail that you need to be focusing about, but in general, the more you pay attention to, the more you try to control, something as simple as just looking at the target before you lift up and shoot the bow, the better off you will be over time.